Welcome, everybody. How you doing, R2?
I am fantastic, and I am pumped up after that song. We're hitting the old school Dr. Dre and Snoop hard lately. I love it.
Snoop Dogg and Eminem dropping a new jam. Bored Ape Yacht Club sponsored in ApeCoin. Thought it was appropriate. Let's get it going.
Probably nothing, as the kids say these days. It is Moon Monday. It is Moon Monday 22. I apologize. The title says Moon Monday 23, but it is Moon Monday 22 on this fantastic June 27th. I apologize. Math is hard sometimes, but we're going to make it anyways. Guys, if you haven't already, the Moon Monday announcement has been dropped in the Discord channel. Saw a lot of people discussing that, talking about it. But in addition to Moon Monday's announcements, we're also going to do a little Meet the Devs space today too. I think it's time that you guys got to. I mean, you interact with them in the Discord all the time, but it's time to pull some of the other team members up there, discuss their backgrounds and how hard at work they are on all things star related. And we're really excited to dig into that too. So I have Luca up on stage, and Short Circuit's going to be coming up on stage with us eventually. I did send you the friend invite. Just a reminder that you do have to be on mobile to be able to speak on spaces. So I'm not sure if you saw me ping you in the Discord there, but just to give you the heads up. We will talk to Luca in Short Circuit very shortly, though. Free Market, how are you doing today? It's been good. We did our show this morning. Markets are kind of where are we at right now?
Well, markets are unchanged. NFTs are slightly down a little bit off of last week. I think there was a little NFT NYC euphoria. Seems to be wearing off a little bit here. Markets are flat. It was very bullish towards the end of last week. I think they're just digesting all of that. So, not a terrible place to be. We're off the lows. I think everyone's feeling a little better about life. And, I think most projects are fine in this type of environment because they just get to quietly do what they need to do. And I think markets now are finally at least stabilizing a bit here. We will see for how long, of course.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of at a position where it could break either way, but it does seem to feel like a little bit of relief, a little bit of relax is coming back into people engaging a little bit more normally. It hasn't been all doom and gloom. NFT NYC, I think, reignited some excitement for people. But it's always one of those things. You expect it to be like a huge bump or like NFTs are back. It's it. The macro backdrop is going to make things different. But again, like there's some very promising stuff coming out of NFT NYC, even if just people were there networking, getting to know each other, and just taking their mind off of the backdrop. So I feel pretty good coming out of this weekend, and of course ETH is hanging on to that 1200 price right now, but we'll see where that goes. Let's move into Star Wolves today, and of course the Moon Monday announcement that was posted up. As many of you know, we have been for a long time talking about a Q2 deadline of trying to get more of the full game release up and going. This is a bit of a learning experience for us as well. A lot of experience in traditional programming, project development, and all of that stuff. But Web3 always does throw you a couple of curveballs. We did mention it previously when we were talking about launching the pregame dashboard, but everything kind of got not sidetracked, delayed by a little bit, but for pardon me, ironing out some of the kinks that we were finding and not expecting in the development process. But again, that foundation has been built, and with your feedback and your participation, we've really been able to get out a lot of the small issues, a lot of the kinks along the way, and we're really happy that we have a really, really, really solid foundation to be building on top of. But of course, Q2 will be ending in about 3 days now. And of course, the game is going to be a little bit longer than we initially anticipated. I gotta say, being in the Star Wolves pack chat, So many just like really kind words, just saying, we're here for it. Just really happy with how transparent the team is being and how honest we're being about things. And I think that that's really just the name of the game, right? Like, we don't love delays. We don't love things taking longer than we say they're going to, but we also have always operated under an ethos of quality first rather than just pumping things out. And that's kind of where we're at right now. So when you guys kind of echo that sentiment and you kind of bought into our ethos and our way of operating, like, it really does mean a lot to us.
And just to kind of summarize and bottom line where we are, the back end is completely done. That is kind of what is in testing right now and being put on the front end. We even said we are looking to hire another front end dev, which will speed up things a little more, but everything is going quite well. You can check that out in Moon Monday, and we're looking really forward to pushing that out very soon.
Yeah, for sure. If you are a front end dev and you have experience with these sorts of projects and whatnot, and you're looking for some extra work, please, please, please hit us up. Let us know, and we would love to bring you aboard. It's one of those things where in this kind of market, on all the way up, everybody's excited to be in it. Everybody's participating. People are looking for work, and then it kind of pulls back, and we are where we are right now. And a lot of the interest, a lot of the participants have kind of left onto what they think will be greener pastures, and that's fair too. But if you have any experience and you're looking for some extra stuff to partake in, Star Wolves is always looking to add quality, dedicated team members, and
And that's exactly why we brought the devs up. We want you guys to be able to talk to them if you guys have any questions, but just getting an overview of how they're doing, who they are, and what they're working on. We think is super important and good for you guys to understand. So we're really happy to have Short Circuit and Luca up on stage.
Amazing. The other announcement that we had was the Homebase. We're planning on rolling out the version 0, which is basically like the pre-beta or the beta version of the Homebase, where you'll actually just be able to see it, look at it, and start exploring a little bit for the time being. Of course, you'll still be able to access the pre-game dashboard. That's still going to be all up and functioning for you to be opening the chest, generating some of the resources, some of the stardust, but you'll be able to look at your wolf pack and be able to mix and match the ones that you want for your active crew of 3. We've indexed and assigned the HPs, of course, based on their rarity rankings for that too. So now you'll have a little bit more clarity on what you're looking for as you start to put your pack together. We were having a lot of fun in the Discord last week, kind of just messing around, talking about, how many different wallets people want. Do you want, if you had 30 wolves, would you put them into 10 different wallets and have 10 active crews? Would you do 5 and make sure that you have some backup wolves so that you can swap out your crew and make sure that you're making the missions more efficient, or the PvP battles or the boss fights more efficient? Because remember, not all wolves are created equally. Obviously, the HP is based on the ranking, but as you'll remember, we did do the contest for the traits, and the traits are going to play a huge part in that. And who knows, I'm really excited to see all of the theory crafting that's going on, with people saying, maybe 5 with 2 backups and a high diversity of different traits so you can mix and match them might actually yield more than having more wallets, but a tighter group with less flexibility. And I think that's one of the things that makes games really great, is the ability to optimize in different ways and really suit and tailor your play style, the time dedication that you have, and the energy that you have to put into a game in multiple different ways. So we're getting to that point where you guys are going to have a little bit more clarity, ideas, and interaction with how you're going to build out your crew.
Speaking of traits, R2, do we have blob news as well this week?
There was, there might have been some blob news, of course, affectionately referred to, named by Loose, Optimus Slime, but the blob moniker definitely still sticking around a little bit. Yes, we have blob news. The others, who may or may not even be in this crowd right now, have maybe been hanging out with the blobs, maybe, trying to, get them into the next level of civilization, fuse them with some other life. And I gotta say they're evolving at a really rapid pace, and some of the stuff that is coming out of this is actually really cool too. If you've been in the pack chat, maybe you saw something that Charlie posted, and it could be maybe animated. I don't know.
As these terrestrial creatures of Earth venture into space and discover the plethora of elements and life forms and different things, I can't even imagine the possibilities of what could come of this, and I'm very excited. Blob Maxi, let's go.
If you ever decide that you're bored of NFTs or crypto, just you hit up any kind of Hollywood studio, and you can write and read copy for them all day, man. Because as bullish as I was on blobs after you just said that little 30-second sentence, I'm fucking hyped now. Yeah. No, honestly, we are working hard with some stuff on the blobs. It's been really fun to mess around with them, push our limits of what we learned with pixel art in Star Wolves, and kind of reform a new kind of a collection that will be fun for some Star Wolves holders and stuff to get on. And it's as Charlie mentioned in the update. We've been working with a really, really fantastic pixel artist to help us with this, because we're always looking to take things to the next level, and improvement over everything they do. As much as we love and are fond of and are proud of all of the Star Wolves art that we have put out thus far, you always just want to be up in your game. You always want to be trying new things, pushing your limits, getting better. I mean, that's the name of the game, right? Just getting better every single day. And that's really one of our core focuses here at Star Wolves. So we're really excited to be bringing someone else in that's really knowledgeable, really, really talented, and having them kind of show us the way. I know I've been just really thrilled about it. So keep an eye out for that. There will definitely be some more news coming soon regarding that. On that note, that is the Moon Monday one. Shout out also to everybody who participated in the riddle this weekend. I wasn't able to be there for that, but it looks like you guys were on top of it, digging through the Discord, and everything was found in way, way faster than we were expecting. So big kudos to the Star Wolves pack for
Riddle
solving
me this,
that.
fat man.
And as I said, there might be someone in this audience that you might want to go and give a follow to if you haven't yet. So I'll let you figure that one out. Just another small little riddle there for you.
Is it Ashtray? I like Ashtray.
Well, I mean, if you're
Is it
not following
Ashtray?
Ashtray, you're just NGMI anyways. So
Yeah, well, that's a fair point. That's a fair point.
On that note, I want to introduce our good friends and incredible devs, Short Circuit and Luca, to the stage. Guys, how are we feeling today?
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me. It's bloody early here in Australia, but I'm up and about, had my coffee, and ready to chat.
I'm just going to take full credit for waking you up nice and early and getting a good start to your, I guess it would be Tuesday morning for you.
Correct.
Moon
yeah,
Tuesday morning for Luca. Well, that's great, man. Let's dig into your story a little bit. Let's talk about your experiences in crypto and NFTs, and what led you into not only being an incredible member of the Star Wars community, but also working with us too, with a lot of porting over of the Discord games into the actual Star Wars game itself.
Could you just repeat the first part of that question? I must have missed it with the. I'm not sure how. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no problem. I always like to know, how did you get started in crypto even, right? Because it's still such a small community. Like, everyone's got a different story, how they found out about it, and then of course the pathway that led to NFTs, or even, as it turns out, a lot of people starting with NFTs and then getting into crypto.
So I guess quite a few. My story started off by having a friend who was involved in doing very well with NFTs. I think his story sort of started with NBA Top Shot, and he was trying to convince me and a couple of other mates for quite a bit of time that this is the way to go, and there was some money to be made here, and we sort of just brushed it off as like, well, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, mate, sort of thing. But eventually, we saw some of the successes he was having. I think he bought a Bored Ape at 3 ETH. That was one of his bigger risks early on, and obviously that's paid off pretty handsomely for him. So we saw that and dove in. The first NFT I bought was I can't even remember, but then he told me about Hugo cards, so I bought one of those, and I'm still holding that to this day. Definitely missed a few cycles to sell, but lots of learning experiences on the way. So sort of started with NFTs, and am now looking to dive deeper into understanding Ethereum and other coins, and so that sort of, I guess, led me to Star Wolves. I remember, I think I was kind of got fully invested into the NFT space over the Christmas break from my normal Web2 job. I caught COVID, and here in Australia that meant like a 2-week lockdown to stay inside. So not having much to do around that time, I decided to jump full time for that couple of weeks into NFTs, and found sort of trying to figure out ways to find alpha for myself, and ended up writing a bit of a Twitter scraper that would allow me to find new projects early. So from that, I think I found Alpha Mint, which obviously, then led to Star Wolves, and that sort of, was my path into Star Wolves, and then spent a bit of time in the Discord there playing the games and whatnot, and really started to enjoy my time in the community, and obviously I spent a fair bit of time doing solo battles, so I had a pretty good understanding of the Discord games by the time Mint went live, and it was sort of a no-brainer when so I was speaking to Short Circuit a fair bit, and he sort of said that you guys are looking for someone to port the Discord games over, so put my hand up and spoke to Charlie, and we've been working ever since, which has been awesome.
That's amazing. And how has the process been going for all of that too? Because I don't comment a lot in our own dev chat area, but you guys are constantly talking, constantly working on stuff, and I'm always just trying to absorb anything that I can from you guys, because you just seem like super geniuses when it comes to this stuff compared to me.
Well, thank you for the nice compliment. So I ended up taking a month off of my current Web2 role to work on this, and I've just really enjoyed the whole process. So my job is to, obviously, for those who don't know, to port across the Discord games. So we've got the PvP, the boss battles, and also the Battle Royale, which was inspired by the Jenny holders. So I'm gradually bringing those across. So I had all three of those working in an external sort of application, which I'm now bringing into the main app. So as R2 said, most of the majority of the back end stuff is done. It's just about making sure that that's all testing and running correctly. So been doing that on the PvP of late. So we're getting very close, and now I'm just needing to interact that with some UI, and we'll be playing PvP battles in no time.
So cool. And talk about building out in the open. I just wanted to give a shout out to you because you've actually live streamed some of your coding sessions and working on the game on the Discord, and had some people hopping in, watching what you're doing, and participating too. So that's awesome. I love that you were doing that. Are you still doing that a little bit, or like time constraints or anything like that?
I'm back at my Web2 role now, so gotcha. Just trying to find the time, sort of finding maybe 2 to 3 hours most days to jump on the Star Wars stuff, and then obviously when weekends come around, it's a bit of a grind time. So really enjoying what I've been doing. It was a great reminder as to sort of why I got into development in the first place. Spending, I actually started off as or went through university and got a job as an Android app developer. And yeah, really enjoyed that. That was for a small sort of startup company. And we worked in the IoT space. So they were building out like an IoT solution, very similar to, your Google Home or your Alexa, where you'd connect your devices up to a central location, and then you could control them from your phone wherever you were in the world. So that was a lot of fun, but then unfortunately that company ran out of money, and they lost my job there, and then was just looking for something, and I sort of found a more server administration type job, where there's probably about 5 to 10% of my time there is spent coding, which is nowhere near enough. So yeah, doing this work for Star Wolves has sort of reignited that passion for coding, and yeah, definitely opened my eyes to what I should be doing. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's honestly one of the things that I love about this space, and where like even just all of this has gone in general, particularly with the way that COVID kind of turned the world on its head, is that, all of these opportunities are popping up for anyone all over the world that's wanting to do this stuff, and like it just didn't quite exist in the same way before. Everyone is now so comfortable with the idea of remote work, hiring different people all around the world. Even just in NFTs, you see projects from people all over the place, like myself included, with the Alphabet team and of course the Star Wolves team. Just it's so easy and so functional to be remote, working across the globe in sync, and having these opportunities there. You're obviously in Australia, which has just an incredible burgeoning Web3 kind of community up there. It seems like half of the people I interact with in this space are over in either New Zealand or Australia. Do you get a sense of that like in person, or is it still pretty niche in Australia, like on the ground?
On the ground, it's, I guess, yeah, still very niche. After being in this space for a bit of time, you talk to friends about like the time you've spent here, and then yeah, obviously lots of questions come up around that, and asking you for tips and that sort of stuff. But in terms of like, I guess my circle, there's not really too many that are interested in it. My best mate who lives up in Brisbane, so we've sort of like, one of the other mate who had the Bored Ape, he got us both in. So I guess we were learning at the same time. But yeah, we always seem to come across Australians on the Discord servers. Actually, there's a funny story. There was my mate who lives up in Brisbane, he met someone in the Kaiju Kings Discord called 888 King. I'm not sure if anyone's ever heard of him, but I remember seeing him tweet one weekend, and he was actually over from, I think he was over from in Adelaide from Sydney, but had posted a photo at a winery about 2 minutes from where I grew up. So he was probably like 10 minutes away from me. That was just completely random, and I sent him a message. I said, "You're in my neighbourhood now, mate." But yeah, I didn't get a chance to meet him. But yeah, it's crazy, I guess, how much of a small world Australia can be. There's not heaps of people here. So yeah, coming across people is always fun. I would have loved to have an actual chat with him, but it wasn't to be, unfortunately.
I find the same thing to be with Canada, and I know Australia is similar in that your population is very heavily dispersed around the coast, particularly in certain areas. But even just in Canada, like if you live where I live, which is the Greater Toronto area, I mean, a third of our 35 million person population lives within about an hour and a half of there too, and it's been crazy to see other Canadians interact in the space, and they basically just seem to either be in Vancouver, which is the opposite side of the country, or incredibly close to me. And like you see people referencing a highway or a restaurant or something, and you're like, I know that place, like it's super close. And it's really cool to know that there are people, not even necessarily close to you personally, but like close to you locationally that are, in this space because, in your own personal circle, it can actually kind of get a little bit lonely. Like you don't always have a lot of people to talk to IRL about NFTs or crypto and all that stuff. So, yeah, it's been a really, really cool experience to see not only how global the community is, but how close so many people are too.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's been a hell of a ride so far for the last year. Well, I reckon I've probably been in space for be coming up on a year. Yeah, but it's been a hell of a ride, and yeah, wouldn't change any of it. You just there's
You're an
so
elder
many new people,
statesman at
and
this point.
oh yeah, yeah, I feel like it. That's for sure.
Short Circuit, how are you doing over there, man?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good to talk to you again. Welcome to Moon Monday.
Thank you,
I
sir.
gotta say, first things first. I mean, I want to ask you the same question that I asked Luca about kind of your road and your journey in crypto. But congratulations on minting the first ever Star Pop.
Hey, thanks, R2. That was exciting. He wasn't Starpup 001 was not due to be minted until Wednesday of this week, but he came a couple weeks early. Today's his 2-week birthday, so he's been doing well. But, Starpup is part of the reason for the setback on the Star Wolves game, so you can always blame the kids. Get used to it if you're a parent.
But you know what? It's a good reminder. There are, just some real joys in life that kind of just transcend all meaning and importance. And like once you get there, it's just it's such a great thing. So huge congratulations on that, and just and so happy for you and your family.
And I appreciate that. It's been a long road. I'm a little bit older, so it wasn't totally expected. I have a daughter that's 15, so having a newborn's a little bit, pretty big stretch of age between. So I wasn't, as excited as I was the first time. I had my son. I was in my 20s. I thought this was great. This time I was like, ooh, it's gonna be a long time before I can retire. But when you hold him and you see him and you just see how amazing he is, I wouldn't change it for the world. So much appreciated, guys, and I thank you guys for your patience on the setbacks for the game that have been caused by that. But I promise, Star Pup is definitely worth it.
100%. I couldn't think of literally a better reason for any kind of delays. So yeah. On that note, how long you been in crypto for? Like, what was the first crypto you bought? When did you start getting into NFTs, or vice versa, if it was the other way around? And how did you find yourself basically, working with us here at Star Wolves?
Sure. Yeah, no, perfect segue there. The answers there are commingled, so I guess I'll answer both. Well, basically, I got into computers when I was really young. My dad is a general contractor, and growing up, I watched him. He could fix like anything. Like the house breaks, he could fix it. The car breaks, he could fix it. It didn't matter, he could fix it. And I like really admired that. But then we got a computer when I was like 7, and my parents were just clueless. My dad could not fix the computer, right? And around the same time, I saw the movie Short Circuit, which I thought, Johnny Five the robot was so cool. You could just write code and have this thing just act amazing. So I thought, hey, here's my opportunity. I can step in and help out and figure out how to fix the computer. Like it's the one thing my dad can't do. So at that age, I got really into computers, and I always have been since. But in high school and college, I kind of got in a lot into basketball, which took my time away a little bit from computers. Um, and I was a third-ranked point guard in my state in high school. I had a lot of college offers, but decided not to go to college right after high school, and I actually went and built houses. So just like my dad, I went and did general contracting for like 5 years. I've built over 100 houses, sort of where I got my start, just working with my hands. And I really learned what it's like to have to go do general labor for 10 hours a day. When it's -20, when it's 110, it doesn't matter. You still got to be out there and figure out a way to do it, right? So that was sort of an experience to help me grow up and learn a lot about what life is like outside of school. At that point, I said, hey, this is too much. I want to work with my brain, not my muscles. My back hurts. Had a couple close calls on the job sites, almost fell off a couple of roofs. And said, hey, I want to go back to school. And so finally I decided to follow what I always wanted to do, go back for computer science. Played a little college basketball, and eventually tore my ACL. And at the time it sucked, but it was actually a great thing because it allowed me to really focus on my grades, on schooling, and diving into software engineering, which is what I did. I went to school for 5 years, majored in computer science, minored in information science, then started my career. I've been a software engineer now for, what year is it? About 11 years. I've spent most of my time working in the medical software industry. After about 9 years of writing software, I switched into machine learning and data science. Machine learning is what most people refer to as artificial intelligence, where we train computers to think for themselves effectively. In some ways, and in other ways, we tell them to try and find patterns for us. So I've been doing modeling on medical data for the last couple of years, working on distributed computing systems. I'm a big fan of Apache Spark and Databricks. It allows me to write code that runs on hundreds of computers at the same time instead of just one. So when you've got to work with billions of rows of data, you can spread that processing load out across a cluster of machines instead of a single machine. And that's sort of what I do at my day job. And the segue there is that when I switched to machine learning, from just direct software engineering. Oh, by the way, I still do software engineering. I'm senior software engineer. I maintain several apps and help out several teams at our organization. So I sort of carry like 4 titles at the organization. But when I added the machine learning title, I started diving into it, and I saw the graphics cards were really where you do your processing for models. Graphics cards have many processors in them effectively, especially NVIDIA graphics cards are tuned for machine learning models. They have what's called CUDA cores. Each core can be used as a processor to process a thread of data. So you're looking at 80 or 100 threads instead of your 8-core or 4-core processor that you would normally think of using for processing. So I said, okay, cool. Well, I want to learn all this modeling stuff. I need to get a graphics card. So I went and got like a GTX 1070 or something. And I thought, this is kind of an old card. Why are these things still so expensive? What's going on here? So I started looking into it, and I found mining. And I'm like, this is kind of cool. I thought about doing this in college, which is true. I thought about mining Bitcoin in college in like 2010, but I decided the electricity was too expensive at the time. So I was a poor college kid.
We all need those moments, my friend. Don't stress out about it. You
So
always
whoops
need that
on that
one opportunity to say, nah, that's stupid. And then you come back like 2 or 3 years later and go, maybe not.
Yeah. I could be on a yacht, but here we are. So yeah, that happened. So when I saw mining again, I thought, hey, I've been exposed to this. I remember looking at this in college, and so it wasn't super foreign to me as like the first time it was. So I thought, okay, well, let's see if this is easier, if it's worth it. So I started mining with this GPU, and I wasn't making much, but I saw that Ethereum had a lot of potential to grow, and I thought, geez, ETH is like $300, but what if it goes to like 3,000? Then I'm not making $5 a day. I'm making $50 a day, right? So I thought, what the heck? Let's just keep mining. And I got really into it. I built like a 26 graphic card mining rig. That for a while was pulling in quite a bit, and then May of last year happened, and everything kind of started dying. And then EIP 50 and 59 happened, and mining profits went way down. A lot of people are so confused, by the way. Miners don't get gas anymore. I still see people going, those damn miners, these huge gas fees. No, we don't get gas anymore, guys. That ended in July of last year. They burned the gas now, which is cool. It makes ETH deflationary, but for a miner, it killed our profits pretty good. So anyway, I was doing mining, and I thought, hey, crypto's pretty cool. I like this. So I started watching some YouTube videos, started watching Elio. I liked his attitude, his demeanor, and he started talking about NFTs and how he didn't buy into them. And I thought, me neither. So I didn't buy into them, and I got into micro cap trading and stuff. Had some fun with that. But finally, I saw what BAYC was doing. And I thought, you know what? Let's go look at Rarity Tools and see what projects are coming out. And I finally started getting into it, and I kind of just dove into it. Had some pretty big L's, couple decent W's, as anybody in the NFT space, right? We all have our learning experiences. But I think it was like November of last year that I saw Star Wolves on Twitter. Just the branding, the vibe it gave off. This had this amazing sort of 80s vibe, but the art was so clean. Everything seemed like it had a vision to it. The slow pace added that sort of suspense that made me think, hey, these guys are really building. They're not just throwing out a degen project. Um, they're not taking 3 months to get this thing, even have a Discord without doing some work. I thought this is one to follow. And so I was howling on Twitter for God knows how long with some of you other guys, I'm sure. Finally got into the Discord, really enjoyed playing the games. And so after Genesis Mint, one of the guys in the Genesis crew, Lix, did a small animation on the visor or the goggles of his wolf, and I thought it looked dope. I thought, that's freaking awesome. I got to do something like that.
Because this is already taking care of one of the questions I have for you. Keep going.
Yeah. This kind of leads into how I got to be a dev too with the team anyway. So I thought that's dope. I got to figure this out. So I think Charlie pointed me to an app called Sprite, and I was like, all right, cool. I bought it, downloaded it, started playing with it, and started doing some animations on my wolf. I was pretty terrible at it to start, but figured it all out and started getting some kind of cool animations. And I was like, this is cool. So I dropped him in the chat, and the guy was like, hey, that's dope. You should do mine. I was like, all right, well, there's 99 of you asking for one, so just give me a minute. So I started doing some of the other guys' wolves, just doing some smaller animations. And eventually I did your wolf R2. And I had to write some code for that one. That wasn't a straight up hand done thing.
And
but
this
that
one
reminded
blew
me.
my mind for anybody that's seen it. I have the trippy wolf that's like a lot of different colors going on there, and I always thought how cool it would be to animate it essentially exactly how you did. But my solution to do that would have been to do frame to frame, and I think you said there's like 200 frames in that GIF or something. I'd still be working on this right now, and this is where I'm so envious of people that know how to code and manipulate computers to get the result that you want in just a fraction of the time.
Hey, I'm so glad you like it, R2. It was fun actually. It gave me a chance to play with Node.js again, which is kind of why I was motivated to do it. Node is one of my favorite languages. But I work a lot lately. I do a lot of really intense science stuff. So it's all in like R or SQL or Scala or Java or Python. A lot of different languages that aren't as fun to work in Node. And I thought, hey, I can write my own project in Node. Sweet, let's do this. Finally, so I wrote it wasn't that many lines of code, maybe like 1,000 lines of code total. App to animate your wolf without having to do it by hand. So that was pretty cool. When I dropped that in the chat, the guys liked it. You certainly liked it, which I thought was great. And Charlie reached out and said, hey, man, your animations are pretty cool. What do you think about maybe doing some animations for the wolf, like officially? And I thought, hey, that's awesome. And we got to talking, and he's like, so what do you do? I'm like, oh, I'm a senior software engineer. And he's like, hey, we need those. And so we got to chatting, and he told me about the project, and as a dev, you're constantly getting pulled in different directions. It seems like half the world has work for you, right? Hey, you're a dev. Can you do this for me? I probably get like 30 emails a day for different jobs. They just, hey, you're a dev with 10 years experience. Everybody wants you to work for them. So it becomes a challenge of sort of picking and choosing what you do with your time. One, obviously, it's like a monetary value because you're working. But I just want to do something that's fun, especially for sort of a side gig. And you want to do something you enjoy and you believe in, and might help people that you like. And I certainly love the Jenny crew, so I really wanted to see them get a badass game. And a lot of guys in the pack chat are just great. But really, the community in Star Wolves has been fantastic. I've been in the space for almost a year now, and I really haven't been across a community that's been this sort of tight knit at the core. So really impressed with the guys. So, the opportunity to be able to spend my time working for something that they would enjoy, as opposed to writing some, you name it, a car salesman app or whatever else people want me to write. I kind of jumped at the opportunity to work for Star Wolves. So once we had that conversation, we kind of said, well, maybe the game's more important than doing the animations. So I still do a little bit of animation work, sort of on another laptop. I keep them separate. So if I only have access to that laptop, I'll do some animation work. But otherwise, I spend my time working on the game since then, and it's been a great experience being able to get back into just straight up writing a cool game as opposed to writing business software or single page web applications for $1 million clients, creating models for data science. There's so many things you can do as a dev, and they're quite different. The experience you have doing it. So getting the opportunity to work on a game, and especially front end work, I thought that was a great chance for me to kind of branch out a little bit and get away from my daily grind. So it's been a real fun experience.
Yeah, I love it. And one of the things that I really liked that you said at the beginning there too, just because obviously it was intentional, was just finding Star Wolves and realizing that we were doing things at a different pace, and it was it was a little bit intentionally slow, but obviously because we wanted to put forth quality, build some mystery and some actual real substance behind all of it, and not just like, boom, here's a Twitter, boom, here's a Discord, boom, let's get as many people in here as possible, boom, here's the mint, like so many other projects do. And I mean, a lot of those are genuine and successful and doing things in a particular way, but just really wanting to do things our own way and seeing that there can be different ways in the NFT space to succeed and appeal to a wider group of people. And I think for a while there were definitely some people that were frustrated, and there was a lot of when in the discords and stuff like that, which is to be expected. And believe me, we weren't complaining about it. We were always happy to engage in the conversation. But at its core, like there really is just so many amazing people in Star Wolves that are like really kind of just in it together and are there because and we're very grateful for it. They believe in the team, but they also just like believe in each other and like being there with each other and interacting and engaging and just having really real conversations, not only about Star Wolves but about NFTs and crypto, and the support that everybody gave each other while the price was going down, and the fun that everybody has when the price is going up. Like it really is, for lack of a better term, a real community. And that's not a word that Free Market or I throw around lightly when we're talking about NFTs and projects in the space, because we've seen it time and time again. It can be very, very fabricated, and when the dust settles, there's not always a lot left to it. But also, one of the great things is that all of the people that are working on this team have all been like sourced from the community, or people that know somebody and have given a good reference. And it's amazing to have people that are working on this project because they believed in it and they were excited about it before there was ever an opportunity to even work on it. And that's one of the things that I just appreciate so much about you, Short Circuit, and of course Luca and the other devs that are working so hard on this project.
Appreciate that, R2. And you really made a good point. Like I think you guys as a team did a great job of creating a path full of suspense and drama that led a certain group of guys down that path, that once we sort of got to the end of the tunnel, there was no going back. That I remember telling Esoteric about the project back in December or something, and I had been howling for like a month at that point. And he saw it. He dove in just like I did, So I know it wasn't just me who really got gravitated towards the vibe the project was putting off. And he managed to get in the Discord before I did. And I was salty. I was like, "What's going on here?" I spent like 2 days ignoring my main job, just on Twitter. How do I get into this thing? And thank God for ESO. He ended up convincing Mr. Sandman to send me an invite, which is how I finally got in. And again, it instantly sort of increased the bond I had with ESO, as well as created one with Sandman, for just like, hey, thanks for throwing me a bone. And ended up getting to be good friends with those guys because they're just awesome people. And you get to know the guys in the Discord. And all the other guys have similar stories like that. Because of the way you guys did the invite system, somebody got you in. And for that, you were grateful. And then they introduced you to everybody, sort of, because they're the one that brought you there. Sort of like bringing somebody to a party, right? Like, hey, here's my friend. I vouch for him. He's cool. And everybody's like, oh, he's cool. Okay. And then the group grows, right? And that was sort of the way this Discord worked. And because of that sort of process, I feel like just about everybody who came in that way is still here. That really dove into the project. So love seeing everybody in the audience right now. We got a lot of Jennies in here. I see we got Mother Wolf with us, and Batatu, and Licks, the original animator himself. Plaza's another great Jenny. My guy Cannon out here in the audience, and Dude here. I mean, I could name every name on this list. Like, I know just about all you guys. So it's just great to be here and be a part of this family. It's what it's really become.
We love having you, both of you, all of you, as part of our team, and it's just been. The experience just continues to get better and better too. And I'm not even just saying that because we're up here hosting a space. I genuinely am excited to be able to get up here with you guys, talk to the other people in the Discord, and just really. You actually create a lot of friendships that I think are real things, right? So this is fantastic. Free market, how are you doing over there? I know I kind of took over the question asking for the devs here.
No, I really love exactly what Short Circuit was talking about too, because community building is a cliche, but it's a very dismissed aspect of what's going on here, because making people a fan of the property itself is really what underpins a great economy. I think everyone is trying to do gymnastics right now to figure out what makes it work. And the truth is, you got to create genuine fans. And I think that takes passion and authenticity. So, really loved talking to these guys, loved hearing what they had to say. And I am just so pumped for what we're going to be putting out over the next few weeks. So, huge thank you to Short Circuit and Luke, because these guys have been working their asses off. Tails off, asses off. Well, Wolf.
I think we got to go with tails off. Yeah. All right, guys. On that note, we are going to wrap up this Moon Monday. Again, I can't tell you how excited I am to be up here with you guys, be a part of this community, be a part of the team, and just interact with you guys all on a daily basis. It's so fun to put out these announcements, even if, as we don't love making delays and telling people that it's going to be a little bit longer than we thought. But we do believe in being transparent, being honest, and again, it's all about putting out the best quality thing possible. And as much as you don't want to, I would rather delay something and have it come out just being something that we're super proud of and something that you guys will be super proud of, rather than rushing to some arbitrary finish line that just won't paint a good look on it. So on that note, again, we are working our tails off. Things are happening on a daily basis behind the scenes. Testing is being done, and it's all just great stuff. And there is so much to look forward to on a weekly basis here at Star Wolves. So on that note, we are going to wrap it up. Of course, we are going to be doing Terrestrial Thursday on Thursday, same time, same place. And we'll see you in the Discord. Free market, get us out of here.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you on Thursday.